Let us see how we can construct and deconstruct a date. So we have a complete date, the 12th of June 2020. Now let's say we want to find out the date and the month and the year separately. To do this, we will write equal to day. Now remember, a lot of you would think that to get the date, you should use the date function. But the date function is used when you want to create a date, not when you want to separate the date. So to separate, you will use day, and that gives you 12. Similarly, you have month that gives you 6, and finally you have the year that gives you 2020. Let me also write all the formulas so you can see the results. So we have equal to day, equal to month, and equal to year. And if you want to combine, which means you want to create a date, this time you can use the date function. Now please pay attention to the order. It first asks you for the year, then the month, and then finally the day. The year would be C6, the month would be 6, and the day would be C4. And by doing this, you get the same result from where we started, like this, right? So very simple. We have equal to day, equal to month, equal to year, which allows you to deconstruct a complete date. And by using the date function, you can combine three different portions into a date of your own. Now, how you can make something like this dynamic is by simply putting a drop-down validation. For example, I'm just going to copy this once again. Let's keep the date as 12 and keep the month as 5. And where it asks me for the year, I want to keep a drop-down validation. So we will go to data, select our data validation, and I want to allow the user to enter a whole number, let's say between the year 2000 and 2022. What this means is that the user can only choose values between that range, so 2000 and 2022. So if I try to write something else, let's say 1999, it gives me an error. But even better would be for you not to give a restriction on the dates, or rather the years that they can write, but to simply create a list of values. And the list would be, let's say, we have to give 5 years as the result. So we can say 2017, 18, 19, 20, and 21. All of these have been separated by a comma. And now you notice that the user can only choose these 5 years. They don't have the option to choose anything else, right? So it's a very smart way of ensuring that the final end user doesn't end up making a mistake while filling up a form. Just to give an example of how you would end up doing that, let's say you want the user to simply pick the year, but the user should not be able to change the date or the month. This is how we would do it. The first thing that I want to do is to make sure that there is only one cell in this entire worksheet that the user can edit. So I'm going to color this green. Now watch this. We will click on this green cell, right click, format cells, and we will go to protection, and we will remove the lock. This means that out of this entire worksheet, there is only a single cell, which is G6, that I have completely unlocked. What does that mean? That means that when we now go to review and select protect sheet, what will happen is that while the entire sheet will get protected, this one cell will not get protected, or rather not get locked. Let's see how that works. I'm not putting a password here. Let me press OK. Now you notice that if the user tries to change the year, they can. Why? Because despite the fact that we have protected the sheet, this one cell has been unlocked by the user. But if they try to change any of the months or the dates, you notice it says that you're trying to make a change on a protected sheet and you will not be able to do that. But how do you stop a user from even selecting the other cells? To do this, I will unprotect the sheet. We will protect it once again, but this time I will deselect the option that says select locked cells. What does that mean? It means that we're not even allowing the user to select any locked cell. Now remember, how many locked cells do I have on my workbook, or rather my worksheet right now? Everything except G6 is locked right now. So when I press OK, you will notice that except this cell, which I'm still able to change, everything else on my sheet is locked. If you notice, I'm trying to click on different cells, but I will not be able to click on any other cells on my worksheet. So very, very handy when you want to restrict the user to a few specific cells on your worksheet.